And one. Folks, welcome to another episode of the Chef Fit Show. And on today's episode, we have our first Aussie native. Aaron Nash is on today's episode, and we're going to be talking about Aaron's journey with us in the past couple of months, where he was at before he joined us, what happened as a result of joining us, and what the journey's been like for him. And obviously, this is a huge opportunity for any chefs, especially down under, to get an insight into what it's like being in the elite. So, Aaron, thanks, bro.
Big time. G'day, man.
What's going on?
Good.
So,
good to hear from you, my friend.
Yeah. All good, bro. All good. So, Aaron, what I first want to get down to the bottom of is just give me an idea. Like, we're a couple of months into Chef Fit. Give me an idea of where you were at before we first spoke. Where were we at physically? Where were we at mentally? And what had led you to wanting to join and make a change?
Well, probably from the beginning when you started Chef Fit, I was aimlessly scrolling through Facebook, and you're one of the good things that I found on it. There's a lot of shit out there, but being a chef and that, I followed the group, and I got a lot of good stuff out of it. But little last year, I was struggling with my weight, struggling with the diet, just the typical chef stuff, picking in the kitchen, and just it's been a gradual thing, but just really slowly gaining weight and going through bursts of eating healthy and trying to exercise and stuff, but just fighting a losing battle, which I know a lot of people do, and I was just one of those people.
Totally.
And I connected obviously with what I was hearing from the free group, but with all my good intentions, I still really wasn't getting the results, and the rate was just continuing to creep up, and I was at my heaviest late last year, and I was restless and I wasn't happy.
What do you think when you were thinking about, right, you're in that position and you were trying different things, right, and you were trying different diets and blowing hot and cold, and things would work for a while and maybe drop off? For you, what was the reason behind wanting to make a lifestyle change? Like, what was that going to do for you in your life in making that change, do you think?
I was quite restless, and I think that's a big factor. I wasn't quite at peace with who I was.
Right.
I was sort of losing the person that I felt I was, and it was holding me back. I was having restless sleeps at night because of the extra weight. I felt it during the day through my work, and as a person, it sort of affected me, and I wasn't at peace with that. So from that, I really wanted to make a change, and through trying, I was quite disheartened when the results didn't come in. I wasn't sticking at it long enough.
Yeah.
And when I'd go back to not so good eating habits and no exercise, it would be worse than what it was before. So it was progressing in the wrong way, which was really, really worrying, because that's obviously what I didn't want to do, and I was trying not to go in that direction, but that's what was happening. So I was like, shit.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And I think when you chase your tail and you fail at a couple of things, obviously in your mind, it just gets harder every single time. And you start to really believe that, like, shit, is this even possible for me? Which is a story to have. And I think the stars aligned in a way, and you ended up taking a step forward, and you put your hand up to join the elite. So I'm trying to actually think of the timeline of when you started, because the time is flying. And it's actually, I was going to say, it's probably been like 2 or 3. You've actually been with us a good while now, Aaron. So let's talk about, first off, like, what results have you seen in your body, in your mind, and where you're at as a person since starting Chef Fit? Like, what are the results that you have seen yourself?
It wasn't. It was about 1 week after I joined the elite, and I took the plunge, which was obviously a big step.
Mm.
And it was after I did a couple of live videos, and I looked back at myself. That's when I fully realized where I was at that certain point. And I looked back and I was like, fuck, you know, oh, it was, you know, um, so, you know, from there on, it was hard at work, and it was, you know, getting into the nutrition and getting into the training program and being accountable in the group. And, from then on, it's been a good change. It's been a lot of work, you know, obviously it takes consistency. But I'm just, you know, I'm about 6.5 kilos lighter than what I was when I first started.
Awesome.
And I'm just beginning to feel myself again. You know, I look back at that person, you know, 10 or 12 weeks ago now, and you know, I found it hard to identify with that person. I think that was my challenge then.
Big time.
But I'm feeling myself again. You know, I'm, you know, I deserve it. We deserve it, and that's a big challenge that I think a lot of people, especially chefs, struggle with. The chefs, fucking, I'm gonna tough it out, and this, you know, it's we deserve it. We deserve to be the fittest and the happiest.
Yeah.
You know, in our hearts as well, that we can possibly achieve. And it's like I'm coming out of this sort of coma, you know, and I'm like, hey, you know, this is who I really am.
Totally.
So yeah, definitely, I feel a bit lighter. I feel a bit more energetic. I've got structure in my life. I'm jotting down, you know, what I want to do during the day. I jot down when I'm going to the gym, what I'm going to eat, really simple things. But, you know, I spent a lot of my life not doing that, and, you know, just throwing shit at the wall and expecting it to stick, and getting shitty when it doesn't.
Yeah.
So Chef Fit, you know, gives me that opportunity to have the structure, to have the accountability, and it's working. It's working. It's simple, and it works.
Totally. And I think what's an important thing to understand is, and I'm glad you mentioned it, is that you speak about that it's hard work, you know. And I think the message that you need to get across to everyone, that especially every chef that wants to make a change, you have to accept that reality. And I think for you, the biggest change, like obviously there's been massive physical changes in you, and there's been, you know, far more energy, and you're far more productive than you were before. But I think as a man, and I said this to you before, but as a man, I think you have almost, I suppose the way I would describe it is leveling up, where you've really raised the standards for what you expect from yourself, you know. And I think you push yourself and you hold yourself to that standard. And obviously the accountability of the group and constantly being in interaction with other chefs who are also pushing themselves to that standard ensures that you rise up. So man, if we think about this for a second, like obviously you had ideas of what chef it would be like before you joined. Now that you're in it and you're going through it, like describe what the journey has been like. You've implemented and you've made these changes and you've gotten results, but just like honestly for you, like what has the journey been like to implement from start to finish? Like did it start very difficult and get easier? Has it been easy the whole time? Has it been very difficult? Like how have you found that process?
There's, you know, with the workouts and things, there's good days and there's bad days. There's different levels of energy. There's days where you're pumped to go to the gym and you can't wait, and there's days where you don't want to go.
Yeah.
But the difference is if I wasn't connected to a group, you know, the days that I didn't want to go to the gym, I simply wouldn't go. Where, you know, with this, I feel a responsibility of, you know, if I really want to achieve my goals, and if I want to be honest with the group, I've got to fucking go to the gym. You know, it might not be personal bests or things, but I've learned how important the action is. You know, so when I really don't want to, I'm gonna drive to the gym, and there's an hour and a half of my time, and I'm doing the action, and by doing that action, it becomes routine.
Exactly.
And we celebrate it when things are going good, and the goals are when you're just losing a little bit of weight each week, when you're looking at the before and after pics, and your body's starting to get defined into the way that you would like, and you're just feeling good.
Mm.
That really keeps you going. And it was hard in the beginning. I felt like an outsider. I was very insecure in the gym. But it feels great now. There's the regulars that I see at the gym, and we're all just doing our thing. We're all just exercising, and now there's just little looks and nods, and g'day, and it's
100%.
good to see you, and it's just a part of my life, and it's I like it. It's it's a place where I don't have to think about work and about anything else that's going on in my head. I just do what I've got to do, and I just do the best I can.
Totally.
I've got a long way to go. There's a lot of achievements I can do in the gym. When the time comes, and it's just about getting those PBs, and when I really feel like shit, it's just about doing it, and just about getting there and doing something.
Big time.
And afterwards, you're proud of yourself. You feel pretty proud that, well, wow, I went in there and did something, which is really good.
So if you think about that for a second, and the ability that you've been able to maybe push through some of the glass ceilings that stopped you before, and those obstacles and those barriers where you maybe, you'd start something and give up on it, or whatever that may be, why do you feel, and from your point of view, why do you feel Chef It worked for you? Like what was different that made it click, and it just allowed you to be able to consistently take action? What were the ingredients to that, do you think?
Well, luckily now I'm connected with a good 60 other chefs that are in the group at the moment, that are going through the same ride as me, and through the group we check in. We check in when we're good. We check in when we're bad. We talk to each other about the different workouts and our training program that we're doing. And the big important thing for me is the connection with those chefs. We all want each other to do the best that we can. We're all here to just to be the best versions of ourselves, and we're all here to support each other.
Awesome.
So we've got connection to that 24/7. We can tap into the workplace and look at the videos. We can message each other, and I regard all of them as really good friends. And we're all on a journey, and I'm responsible. If any advice that I give to any of them, I've got to be doing the workouts and things as well. I've got to be doing the best that I can.
Totally.
So
100%.
So I'm responsible to look after myself and to give this the best crack that I can. So then I can pass on any advice, any support, any encouragement on to any other chefs doing it as well.
Spot on. Absolutely, bro. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff, Aaron. I suppose bringing this thing and closing it off then, like if you think about where you were at and maybe, on the fence about joining or not 100% sure yet, or you knew you needed to make a change and you needed to find something to work, but you were unclear on what that thing might be. For any chefs that are in that position now and are still kind of on the fence about joining the tribe, and there's a million and one questions you could have to why, what would your advice be to those chefs who are still on the fence, who want to make that change?
When you're ready, and when you're really ready, reach out and do it. Because there's no excuses there to not do it. There's always a way. And, it's your life, it's your time. Make the most of it, and I urge anyone that's 50-50, do it. Absolutely do it. I remember in our first conversation, and I was being honest with you, I was an 8 out of 10. And then, it took me a couple of months after that to get into the elite group. But I even knew back then, this is something really special. You deserve it. We deserve to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be, so we can enjoy this life, so we can be the best lovers for our partners, for our kids. We deserve it. Give yourself the time, invest in yourself, and fucking do it. That's about it. That's it. That's from my heart, mate. Fucking do it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And listen, a truer word was never spoken, folks. Aaron, thank you so much, man. Your journey has been an inspiration. And the funny thing is, we're nowhere near finished yet. We're nowhere near finished. And we've still got a lot.
Journey's just begun.
Exactly. That's literally it, my friend. That's literally it. If I had more time, we'd finish that whole song. But genuinely, man, thank you for your effort and your commitment so far. For any chefs that are looking to join, as Aaron said, put yourself fucking first, and be willing to invest in yourself. There is no, what is the price of your life worth to you? And for a lot of you, this isn't just about fitness, and it's not about nutrition, and that's not what our message is. The message is to become the happiest version of yourself, the healthiest version of yourself, and therefore the happiest version of yourself. So you got to ask yourself what that means to you. And if that means enough and you're willing to put yourself in that position to make it happen, we are here. So with that in mind, Aaron, legend, nice one, brother.
Thanks, Ken.
Chefs, let us know if you want to join us and you can apply. And I will chat to you all soon. That has been the Chef Fit Show. I've been Cameron. That is Aaron Nash on the line.
Cheers, my man.
You know it. Folks, thank you so much. And I will chat to you all soon. Peace.